Okay, alright, hey guys, this is Matt Lighty, and I am doing a little update on our Explosive Arrow Starters progress, where we're at, and what is going on. So I ended the day, ended the Sunday with my slash played was over 40 hours on Sunday. Played a lot, so that's 40 something hours in basically 3 days. Um, and we ended at rank 1 Explosive Arrow. So we were the number 1 rank Explosive Arrow. So the build's working, long story short. But I want to go over the gear and the choices and anything we've changed and where we're at so far. So currently we're level 93, 4.9k life. And my damage is, well, I don't know how to sure the exact amount, but I have my 6th link +3 bow. I have Blood Rage on kill for frenzy charges while mapping, and attack speed. Eventually we'll craft this a little bit better, but that's pretty good for now. We got this by farming the Porcupine card. So that was the Porcupine card. Do I have any more? I think I do. P.O.RC. Porcupine card. I showed the process in the Twitter thing, but it's basically you get your 6th link bow. You use Fractures of Dread, these +2s, and then you put on can't roll attack mods, Exalt, it has to hit +1 if the suffix is full, and then I put on attack speed. That's how I got my bow. And I did that by farming tier 1 maps, specifically Terrace is the tier 1. Drops the card, it's about like a 1 in 10 if you're just out and going the maps. So I ran like probably 50 of those on average, whatever. And that's where I'm at. That's how I got the bow. My explosive arrow is now 21. I've vowed, I think, like 10 of those to get it. And so 3 gems from the bow. I'm using a +1 fire amulet. That's the extra gem level, so 25 on there. Our Atlas is, we're just missing a couple unique maps. I've got a lot of my favorites done. I'll get the other ones done today that I can. I've started to do invitations. No issues, no hiccups, no nonsense. My defenses, we're at 76 all res with LEW cap. I have +1 from the chest. That's where the extra one's coming from. We're suppression kept. I've done this through the basic tree, which hasn't changed at all from the initial video. And the only thing I've different is using Elevore, which is a very good helmet that I have a nice roll one, which is nice. It gets me suppression capped and recovers life when suppressing. That plus Mage Blade in my 257 dex equals 100% chance to suppress. A little bit on glove implicits, a little bit, good chunk on body. My body's quite nice. Tier 1 life, dex, suppression, and yeah. So my gear's all pretty much just like stats and life, that sort of stuff. Slowly upgrading it. Worst thing's my chaos res, which is annoying, but it's a hard thing to replace. So yeah, that's my basic gear. I have a Corrupting Blood Jewel there, so I can do that. I have my Mantra of Flames. Sorry, not Mantra, Rain of Splinters. There's that. That took 80 Crimsons to get. Basically what it is, I pick up every single Crimson, valid it, and then you got other things also. It's the most rare. It's very expensive in trade. It was like 5 or 6 Divines the first day. So that is a luxury, but it makes your totem shoot 3 projectiles instead of 1 projectile, which is nice. The only links I've changed, I think, also have an Enlighten, but I don't particularly need it, I don't think. No, but just leveling it. Defiance Banner, Grace, Determination, Precision, that's the same. I am running Arrogance and Vitality. It's a little bit of an allocation there, as you can see. Extra 500 of my life pool, which I still have a pretty decent amount. I've just found the additional regen to be much welcomed in this mechanic, because until my chaos res is higher, it just feels good. And life tap over here, Molten Shell and left click, that's been nice. That's one little amendment I've made. Flame dash and flammability. I've been manually casting flam. If I had extra 3rd blue in my body, I would just hook it up to Arcanist brand, which currently has Flame Surge, Calling Strike, and life tap. So pretty much I walk around auto molten shelling, right? Dashing when I need to, and I'm pretty much just tapping totems as I walk. And then when there's a single target thing, Arcanist brand on them, flammability, and that's it. Let's do a demo map just to show you what the build's looking like. But yeah, I have all my labs done. The only thing I had swapped is when I'm not doing bossing, so if I do a boss, I'll put on Shaper of Storms. But most of the time when it's generically mapping, Bastion of Elements is on, Once I get to like level 97, I'm just going to pretty much take this off and put Shaper Storms back on because I'm done leveling. But when you're leveling, and just an added level of defenses, Bastion's nice, especially when you're not suppression capped like I am. So yeah, would recommend that. We're just doing Alchemgo 16s pretty much. I'll just pick out a Grotto, so that's fine, sure. And yeah, the build's really comfy. I'm doing Expedition mostly, that's what I'm focusing on. But yeah, it's walking around, tapping right click. That's the entire build, and you'll see. I don't even have to really look, everything just kind of melts behind me. My links are the same as they were before. So, Deadly Burning, Life Tap Ballista, and Ignite Prolif. Those are my links. I don't really plan on changing any of them. For single target, you can take out Ignite Prolif and put in Combustion if you want. Combustion is still like bugged, I guess. But doesn't properly work unless it's looked up to the thing that is doing the most dot damage. Whatever that is. So typically that's going to be your explosive arrow. There's a little single target adjustment if I have to, but yeah, I don't even need to really. I have so much damage, it's not really much of an issue, to be honest. But yeah, I did end the day on rank 1, so again, the builds, I put in a lot of time, obviously, but the build's working perfectly fine. If you're looking for a build that just kind of walks around tapping right-click, this is a great one. One totem's enough to clear an entire box and pack. They last quite long. The duration of the totems is... my blind. It's here somewhere. What a wall of text. Come on. Life tap lasts that much. Totem lasts 14.4 seconds. Yeah, there we go. So they last a pretty decent amount of time. So you can pretty much just walk and leave a wake behind you. The range is quite good. Also, they have a pretty good trigger range. And Rain of Splinters again makes it so. Oh, the AoE is nice. Here's a little single target, I guess. Arcanist Brand's down. Flammability. There's a life regen mob. They don't really like regen that fast though, compared to how much damage we do. Sanctum's great for this build. I've been skipping it because the mechanic is terrible, unfortunately, value-wise, but I'll showcase what a Sanctum looks like just for the people. Let's see if we get one that makes sense at least. Defeat the guards, sure. Alright, so yeah, this is a good example of how the build works. I mean, I just walk around tapping right-click. There's a specific guard. You can just toss Flam and he's going to die instantly. I am looking at getting a Flammability and hit ring, so like a Warlord's ring is one of the things I'm looking into. But I don't even think it's needed, really, to be honest. It's just like a lazy thing, which I really like the idea of. You could also currently have just some bullshit anointed, but you could anoint +1 curse. You can run 1 hunter ring and 1 warlord ring, and you will have LE weak on hit and flammability on hit automated, which is something I'm personally looking into, because I just, again, like, the laziness factor is the enjoyable parts of the build. Yes, you could set up your entire Atlas and do that sort of stuff quite easily, but the concept of like being lazy while doing it, to me, is the most enticing. But yeah, that's the mechanic. It's really conducive towards Sanctum, if you are interested in doing Sanctum. Here is the... nope, this way. Here is the map boss. I'm Maven witnessing everything. But yeah, you place your 6 totems, Flam, Arcanist, and then that's pretty much it. Things get schmelted. Pretty grace damage. Cool. Moving on. I'll showcase Expedition. This is the content I'm focusing on, really. So my entire last stream is based on it. But it's the hardest thing you could pretty much do at the moment, seemingly. Expedition is like super juiced in high tier maps with a new rare system. So even that's pretty easy. A couple things to look out for is obviously immune to fire damage, but there's an avoid ailment one that just bricks the build. So don't get that one, because that'll again brick the build. So here's the Expedition. You'll see what it looks like. I was debating getting the flammability where it marks the ground just to make Exped easier, but even that's like not needed, to be honest. But yeah, walk around tapping your totems. Ignite Prolif takes care of the answer of trash. Flask setup, I'm just running a phasing flask, Quicksilver, and a silver just to make mapping more comfy. You can run whatever you want for defensive flask, for trigger flask, etc. If you have Dying Sun, you could add that in if you really wanted to. I don't think you need to at all, but you can if you want. Again, the range and clear is really good. Super impressive. No problems at all. The tap and walk playstyle, I personally enjoy. So again, you're just pretty much walking, tapping. It's where the phasing flask helps. Because it makes it so you can just, you know, not have to pay attention as you're walking around. But yeah, that's the map. That's the build. So yeah, the only upgrades I'm really looking for now, if anything, are going to be Polaric Devastation in the left ring, if you want to farm that out from doing Black Star. Or a Warlords or Hunter ring on the right side for auto cursing, on top of like curse setups on your gloves possibly. You could also get the Ignite Spread implicit for gloves, and if you get that, you could drop Ignite Prolif and run something like Combustion. But honestly, Ignite Prolif is actually super strong, so yeah. Helm enchants, I'm not really going to pursue from Lab, but if you can get them, you know, things even like a Reservation for an Aura, really strong, and then you could maybe even run something like Arctic Armor on top of all the stuff. Like when my Enlighten hits 3, I could probably run Arctic Armor if I had a Determination or Grace Helm enchant, which would be pretty sweet. So maybe look into that. Alternatively, I could put Precision on my Arrogance, and I could run Vitality on my Mana. And I could pick up from one of the masteries the Vitality, increased mana efficacy, run Arctic Armor for just additional defenses. But I'm typically not stationary very long. It would make me freeze immune, meaning I could drop the Brine King and pick up maybe Arakali and max that. Just kind of thinking out loud. But yeah, the build's basically done. It's going to do its job now, which is to do Expedition for me and farm out gear for my second build. That's the important of a starter build, right? Set up your Atlas and then farm out currency for the subsequent builds. And that's pretty much the plan. It's going good though. No complaints at all with the build, I would say, so far. Still looking for the belt, the Diden's Dawn, and then again Polaric is the left ring, and then maybe like a auto flammability right ring. Aside from that, there's not much I would be doing for upgrades. Just more life, more suppression, more chaos res, more stats. But pretty much all my gear is effectively done, and Atlas is being set up as we speak. So yeah, going good. That's the basic build diary, I guess. There's not a whole lot much to talk about. You'll see this build in next episode of All for One. To this point and past this point, but there's not a whole lot more I'm going to really do with it because it can currently do all the base content in the game quite comfortably. So not much more really needs to be done. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them about the build specifically. Everything should be really listed in the P.O Planner, plus the amendments we discussed in this video. And aside from that, I hope you have a good day. Good luck in Sanctum League. Good luck if you're engaging with the mechanic. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, hopefully showcasing my Stage 2 build from the build wheel, Forbidden Rite COC.